Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, how are you? I am Gabriella, and this is GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Welcome. I am so excited. Today, I get to bring to you Patrice Craig. Hey, Patrice, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We had such a great conversation leading up to this interview, and I was really impressed with all of the information that we discussed and with your background. I think our audience would really benefit from hearing all about your expertise.
Oh, thank you. Well, like you said, my name is Patrice, and I am here with Peppy Profit Place, and I am the accountability and strategy expert.
I'm telling you, that is something we all need. I will tell you that when I'm looking at the things that I need to do, there's this thing called a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And the one where you have to like put down your weaknesses.
Ugh, cringe.
I know, right? And accountability kind of falls into that area too. But I
Yeah.
love accountability because then you have somebody else that you kind of have to work with, and it makes that weakness part a little easier to get through.
As business owners, we're often really creative. And so we come up with tons of ideas, but you can sort of get stuck in that loop of like idea, like squirrel. So when we create the accountability, we are really digging into what your natural creativity is, but we're setting up those very easy to follow accountability steps that get you to your overall goal so you can squirrel it again in a few minutes.
Well, how did you get to becoming an accountability coach? I'm sure you must have your own accountability person.
I do. So, well, it was actually a very roundabout way of getting into this sort of work. My background is in retail training. And there's, clearly a lot of accountability there. It's,
Mhm.
opening up stores, a lot of travel,
Yeah.
but I am a mother 6 times over. So when COVID hit, my career in retail was not really sustainable. You know, I had these 6 humans home and they needed somebody who was present and able to make lunches and support them in their education. My youngest was in 3rd grade, and so he needed a lot of hand holding, literally hand holding. So I had to really take a step back and regroup. And it was no longer about where I felt most comfortable, but what I really, really loved and thrived within my career. Because I'm one of those weird people who loves retail. I love it. Few and far between, but I am one of those weird people. And so when I looked at my career and the 20 years that I spent doing this thing that I loved, one of the things I really, really wanted to dig into was supporting people and supporting people in reaching that next step. And so, a little trial and error, that's how I ended up here.
Wow, that's such an incredible story and such an interesting background. And yeah, when everything shut down, being a retail trainer, probably also the work available to you probably decreased as well. But you took your skill set as a teacher, used it with your 6 little humans, and turned around and used it to bring it out into the world to the rest of us. And we are grateful for that. So people like you are very influential to people like me and inspiring, because if it weren't for people like you that could show us how it is possible to do what you do, I don't know that the rest of us would know that we could as well. Will you tell us about your influence?
If I look back, there are a number of people that influenced me during my lifetime, and I'm always open for additional influences. When I stop learning, then I'm just going to lay down and go to sleep. But one of the people who really changed my life was a teacher that I had in high school. Her name was Ms. Reese, and she was one of those people who, I was ducking her and hiding in corners, and, she was like, no, you are going to come, you are going to learn, we are going to be a team. And had she not been that persistent, I really don't know where I would have been today.
And that's really, really powerful, because when we get out into the business world, and I know you have a business partner that you work with in everything you do who keeps you accountable, and having teachers that keep us accountable is literally like what we need when we go out into being an entrepreneur or working for other people.
Yeah. She saw in me something that I had not yet discovered in myself. She used to say, Patrice, I see it. You don't see it yet, but I see it. And if you just follow me, we'll get there together. Nobody had ever talked to me like that before.
Wow. That is such a powerful statement. I'm really glad you had Miss Reese. Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
Introducing Boost by GoV, a high-end, first-in-class fuel catalyst tablet that is taking the world by storm. How would you like to save money on gas and go further on every single tank? The new MPG is here. Get more miles per gallon, boost power and performance, and reduce emissions and exhaust. What would you say if you could pay less and make fewer trips to the gas pump? It's time to wake up and get on the move. What are you waiting for? Get more out of life and join the GoV experience today. Scan the QR code or check the show notes for more information.
Global Prosperity Academy, GPA, is a community of like-minded individuals that are heart-centered and mission-driven, focusing on high-level communication training, leadership development, and strategic community building. Take a look at the video in the link below and see how GPA is right for you. So I have a question. If you could go back and talk to that high school student, or, when your 6 little humans are growing up and graduating high school and going to college and entering the work world, if you could give one piece of advice that you wish you had had that they'll benefit from, what would that be?
Anything is possible. Explore and don't be so quick to tie yourself to one decision.
Right.
But really consider the things that you love and explore the possibilities within those things that bring you alive.
I love it. That's such great advice. I tell my 14-year-old that pretty regularly, and she's still in that place where she's figuring things out. But the other thing about it that I love is so many people that are listening to us talking today, they're changing careers. We just had a huge shift in changing careers, and I walked away from a 30-year career that I was and I am now doing what I am passionate about and what I love.
Yeah, well, think about what a bold move that is. Spending 30 years doing something and saying, okay, but this is not bringing me alive. That's such a scary but bold move.
But I knew I had to do it. And even on the times when I'm like, I'm still happier than I was before.
Yeah. When I left retail, I remember looking at my husband and saying, but I don't know how to do anything else. And he was like, yeah, you do. What are you talking about? But it was, I had to step into that power before I could start supporting others and stepping into that power.
So yeah, that's really awesome. And I totally agree with your husband and myself as well. Like, I had a whole entire different career, and then I changed, and you did the same thing. And we think when we're in these other careers that we don't actually have skill sets that we can translate into entirely different things. And so I would like you to share with us some tips that you have, maybe like some kind of high level tips that when you're working with your clients these days, that our audience can take away with them right now that will help them launch and lead into their expertise and their next level of success.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first thing that we say when we meet with our clients is the magic really happens when you become very, very clear about stepping into this new iteration of who you are. So, one of the places that we really dig in is in your vision. It's really about taking this idea of where you'd like to be and what it's going to feel like when you get there, and then sort of building the life around it and allowing yourself that moment to sort of quiet the noises. There's so much noise, and there are so many people that tell you you're crazy. Why would you leave a 30-year career? What about your pension? What?
Well, now that you're doing that, you need to come work with me. No, you need to work with me. No, I'm going to tell you how to succeed.
Let me tell you how I did it. And it can get so overwhelming. And a confused mind doesn't make a decision. So the minute that you quiet those voices and you get very clear about how you vision your life moving forward, then we can start to take those and make like very basic accountability steps, taking you one step into the other so that they feel like you're making bold steps, but they're not so bold that you're completely overwhelmed and then stagnated.
That's so important. That's happened to me. And I've had to do exactly what you just said. It's surprising, like some of these really big names, and you see all these things they're doing, and then you hear and you realize like smaller steps. It's, what is the saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time?
One bite at a time. Yeah. Well, think about it. If you break that down, if I look at an elephant and I'm like, yummy, that's completely overwhelming. But if I literally just go and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to work on this piece till it's done. Then I'm going to take this piece. So it's not that I'm forgetting the big vision or the place where I'd like to get to. It's about really focusing with what I'm doing right this minute and doing that to completion before I move forward.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you can't have these other things as you work through, and don't overwhelm yourself with your priority list, but as you work your way through each one, and you can move on to the next.
Yeah. So if you think about it, like most business owners will enter into their month and they're like, well, I need to make $10,000 and I need to make that in the next 2 weeks. That can feel completely overwhelming. Or if the goal is, I'm going to introduce myself to 5 new people this week, that doesn't feel as overwhelming. Those introductions are going to lead to generating money and income into the business, but that's not how you're looking at it. And so you're not becoming overwhelmed.
So do you have any other tips that you'd like to share with us today?
Yes. So one of the key factors in our new program is really freeing yourself from the expectations of those around you, of others, and about really just quieting those voices so that you can start to really hear what it is that brings you alive. That's something that so many people struggle with, especially now as we're starting to make these shifts into new careers. There's so much. There's always the right way. There's always a new coaching program. There's always a new, make $1 million in 6 weeks with me. It can become overwhelming. Just quiet those voices and stay on your path. And I'll say this, whether it's me or you or someone else, find someone who you really connect with and allow them to support you in your growth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So when everything shut down, the first year was a whole rediscovery of myself. And I had a situation come up that felt like it just hugely slapped me in the face. And I had a ton of people I talked to. I love networking, but I met this one person and we had a conversation, and she literally just started coaching me right then and there. And I was just bawling in tears. And it was like, and we connected, and I worked with her for a year, and she was exactly what you just said. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hi, everyone. My name is Alan Raisman, the owner of the Fun of Working Out beachbodyworkouts.com. I'm a Beachbody coach, and on that website, you could try Beachbody workouts out at no cost. But today I want to highlight a wonderful nonprofit outside of Philadelphia. Keystone Opportunity Center provides food, housing, and education to over 5,000 people a year in Montgomery and Upper Bucks County. On their website, www.keystoneopportunity.org, you can learn about the mission, hear client stories, and learn how you can volunteer and support them. Again, my name is Alan Raisman, the owner of thefunofworkingout.com. I'm a Beachbody coach, and you can go to my website where you can try Beachbody out completely free. Thank you.
And I think that you probably do that for a lot of people as well. I know that you resonated really well with me, and I'm excited to get to know you even more and your business partner and see how we can work together in the future. I think our audience should also reach out to you and see how they can work with you and learn accountability skills from you as well. So will you share with us how they can reach out to you? And you guys, those links are going to be down below. So make sure that you click the link and reach out to Patrice. She's got some really, really great, valuable content and information to share with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, everybody can come on to our webpage, peppyprofitplace.com. But then also what we would love to offer you and the audience is a 60-minute strategy session where we sort of deep dive into the business and where you are and create some real tangible steps that'll propel you forward and create a little bit of ease within some of those things that make people just like, oh, my business.
Yeah. And the link for that will be down below as well. It will be a very specific link that you guys are going to want to go to so that Patrice knows that you heard about this offer directly here on this vodcast. And if they want to find out about you on LinkedIn, or do you have a business page on Facebook or any of that, will you share that with us as well?
Absolutely. And all of those links will be provided. We also have our Facebook group where we share our weekly blog with accountability steps. We also have our LinkedIn page, and look out for our monthly masterclasses.
Oh yeah, masterclasses. I love masterclasses. Those are really awesome. And you guys, anytime you can go to a masterclass and learn about how to work with somebody, that is one of the best ways to do it, because then you have a small commitment and you learn what they bring to the table and how it resonates with you. And then you're able to find out how to work together. So click the links below, take a look, join one of the classes, find them on Facebook and the website. Make sure you take her up on her offer. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you set the reminder so you know when our next episode is being published. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.